Good afternoon, this is Jeff again here at 4421 Northeast Pinehurst Avenue here in Milwaukee. We're located at we're at the secondary cleanout access now, which is approximately about 140 feet away from the initial cleanout. So the cleanout down here is broken, which is as far as sewer repairs go, relatively simple fix. And should you ever lose track of this thing here, one of the easier ways to find it until you've got like a flag on it. Right now I've got a garden hose stuck in the initial clean out. Turn that on full bore and walk over here and you'll hear the water echoing right out of the pipe. All right, so yeah, this is in and amongst that belly. The clean out comes in right at the end of the belly. So seeing that is the case, most likely whatever hit this clean out hard enough to break it is likely the same scenario that caused the line to belly out. ABS pipe is very strong. It takes some oomph. And I've seen it a lot, especially on new construction sites where someone drives over a stand pipe, a clean out sticking out of the ground, and it'll put so much pressure on it 10 feet down under the ground, it'll shear the clean out tee right off the line. Not that's what you've got going on here, but anyway, I've seen this scenario a few times before. And when I ran through that belly originally, nothing obvious about the bellied pipe looked broken, albeit it had settled. I didn't notice any obvious breaks. And with the amount of sticker bushes you've got here and the relatively shallow depth and all the tree foliage and everything, if you had a busted wide open joint here, it would be mind-blowing if you didn't have just tons of roots. I'm amazed roots haven't grown down through the busted clean out, to be honest with you. Or just had a sticker bush grow down into it. It happens. Alright, so you've got something going on here. It looks like that joint's busted, and or there could be a hole there in the pipe. I've got a really nasty light glare on my face right now, and so I'm going to probably have to review some of this at home. And oh, there we go. There's the main. Alright, I'm going to go turn the water off here. In total, your line is about 200 and... oh, I'm terrible at math here. About 250, 260 feet length. All right, once I move back over to the camera reel here, my view of things gets even worse. I had a little bit of shade where I was out there a moment ago. So anyway, I'll have to do some reviewing of this at home in better lighting. Anyway, you can see that there. That's dirt coming into the pipe joint. I think we're going to see some water shoot past the camera here in just a second. Yep, there it goes. Someone just flushed the toilet. Anyway, as it sits right now, what you probably have there is a crack in the pipe. It doesn't look like a gaping hole, otherwise you'd probably have roots through it. At some point, roots will get into that. So something you ideally want to take care of. Right now, it's not doing much to affect flow. But you also have the other concern, too, of you don't want a piece of pipe open to the ground. During the rainy season, the ground gets saturated with water. It can allow dirt to flow into the pipe, and you don't want to create a sinkhole. which in most cases usually doesn't happen to a spectacular extent, but I have seen it result in some scary situations. Usually it'll cavern the ground out only to an extent. It just depends on the landscape, the kind of dirt you've got. A lot of things play into that. And the depth. If the line remains at a fairly shallow depth, you can only erode out so much ground. Anyway, once you're past this point, this is not anything beyond this clean out I can locate. That's why I'm not going out to locate anything. You'd have to be back here with a team of weed whackers. Send a herd of goats back here for a few weeks. Anyway, I'm going to do some reviewing of this end of the line at home as it relates to the first about 143 feet of the line up to the secondary clean out. You have the broken clean out here that should get repaired. There's also a belly here too. And so if you're going to be back here doing repair work to fix the crack in the pipe and the clean out, I would suggest dealing with all of it at the same time. You know, however, the standing water down at this end here at the base of a hillside like this far away, it's a relatively low likelihood scenario for blockages. However, that's more so as it relates to single residence. If this ends up with multiple houses on it that tie into this line, that's a situation where you want your line flowing as nicely as possible if you have a multi-family situation that's handling a lot more volume. And also potentially abuse. Not that lines should be abused, but they do get abused. And when you have high volume scenarios under like a multi-family scenario, I don't know if that's what this is going to be or not, but if that does happen, you want as few things hindering flow as possible in those scenarios. If you get any repair work done, I highly recommend rescoping the line afterwards to check the work. And again, there may very well be some things I put on the report I haven't mentioned on video. There's parts of this line I just can't see right now with the light glare I've got.